I asked ChatGPT what it thought the quickest strategy would be for me to go from where I am now in terms of followers across social media to over 100,000 followers in the next 3 to 6 months. So I asked it for the best strategies for 2026 for growing my followers as quickly as possible across YouTube, Instagram, TikTok and Substack, and what it spat out was actually pretty good. A lot of it actually is stuff that I was already thinking about myself. But what I'm going to do is go through exactly what it spat out to me this morning, and then my plan to actually follow the exact strategy that it's given me over the next 3 months to see if I can go from around about 9,000 followers across social media at the moment to over 100,000 followers within the next 3 to 6 months. So it's a big task. It's going to be rapid growth, and I know it's no easy feat. The reason why I asked it that this morning was I was up at 4 a.m. this morning, daft silly old me, up at 4 a.m. and I was sat scrolling through social media as I usually do at that time in the morning, and I saw a couple of people on Instagram who were saying that they'd gone from 0 followers to hundreds of thousands of followers across various channels within a very short period of time. And in all honesty, I got a little bit jealous and I thought, that's what I want. That's what I need for me to grow my business this year, and how can I do it as quickly as possible? So I did what a lot of us do, and I turned to ChatGPT. I actually put it in deep research mode as well, just for that little bit of spice, and what it spat out, like I say, was pretty interesting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through exactly what it told me for each of the 4 channels that I specifically asked it for the strategies for, and just explain exactly what it spat out and told me to do, and obviously how then I'm going to take that forward and actually put it into practice over the next 3 months. So I'm going to give myself 90 days, 3 months from the day that I get back on Wednesday this week, back home from this working holiday, and then I'm going to map the journey and see exactly how we get along, and if I manage to actually hit 100,000 followers in 3 to 6 months. So YouTube is one of my primary focuses for 2026. I've already done near enough 30 videos in the last 30 days. So YouTube is definitely a big focus of mine. It was quite interesting what it's actually said, and it is something that I'd already been looking into as well in terms of leveraging the shorts side of YouTube as well as doing the long form stuff. So the shorts, and obviously the idea behind leveraging the shorts functionality on YouTube is it gives you a hell of a lot better reach from what I've been reading. And one of the main things that I've seen quite a few other big creators doing is actually leveraging the shorts part of YouTube and doing that to quite a lot of success. With the shorts, because obviously short form is easier for people to consume and it reaches a wider audience of people a lot quicker. This is actually a strategy that I was going to start focusing on anyway when I got back, and starting to focus on posting sort of 3 to 5 shorts every single week to YouTube shorts, as well as doing one video, long form video such as this every single day to YouTube as well. Now, over the last 30 days, 28 days, let's call it 30 days, that I've been doing the long form content, my subscriber count hasn't moved really at all. It's gone up 3, but I've also lost 2, so net plus 1 subscriber over the last 28 days. So shorts is something that I have done before on YouTube, and I've actually got a little bit of success off the shorts and gained subscribers from it. So that's already triggering in my head that it definitely is a good thing to actually focus on. So that's something that I'm going to definitely be doing. I'm going to aim to do, I mean, as part of the challenge that I've set myself anyway, one of the daily tasks that I've set myself for the 75 hard challenge that I'll be doing when I get back is to post a short form piece of content to TikTok, Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn every single day consistently for the 75 days. So I'm going to be doing this anyway, but I'm going to be very interested to see exactly how much more reach I can actually gain through posting shorts to YouTube shorts specifically to grow that audience bigger on there. And then hopefully from that, some of those people will obviously start cutting in onto the long form content that I'm posting, and then organically grow the channel from there. So that's the first point it said. The second point is something obviously that I'm sticking to at the moment already anyway, and that's to post consistently. And obviously, again, as part of the challenge that I've set myself, I'm going to be posting to YouTube every single day. So a long form piece of content and a short form piece of content every single day for 75 days. And obviously going from there. Consistency is a big buzzword, and I think that's the case for any sort of growth, any sort of social media growth that you're looking for. It's just about being consistent and sticking to a consistent pattern that you're able to stick to. Now, I know that posting daily is a massive, massive task, but you've got to stick to something that you're able to do. I've already proven over the last 28 days that I'm able to post a long form piece of content every day, so there's no reason whatsoever why I can't continue to do that when I get back home and back into the swing of things. Obviously, the other things that it's put up in the strategy for YouTube is just to make sure you're hooking viewers early and maximising watch time, which is just general sort of advice anyway. I already know that's the case. Obviously, YouTube prioritises people who are actually watching your videos and getting as far through the videos as possible. So that's something that I'm going to be focusing on and ensuring that I am adding as much value into the front part of the videos. So front loading every single video that I do, both the long form and the short form content, to try and keep people as engaged as possible. And obviously talking as authentically as possible and talking about my journey and what my sort of channel is all about. And hoping that obviously keeps people engaged enough to watch as much as possible. And then it's also talking about optimizing thumbnails, titles, and SEO and stuff like that. Again, that's all stuff that I'm already focusing on as it is. Another interesting one, which I quite like the idea of for YouTube, is creating series of content, which I'm already starting to do that as well. So that's good. So all this stuff that ChatGPT is kind of giving me is just validating stuff that I've already kind of got in my head anyway, which is good, to be fair. I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, I'm going to be doing more sort of series-based content as well, specifically on the long form. So that's going to include stuff like weekly recaps on how I'm getting on towards my £100,000 turnover goal, weekly recaps on how I'm getting on towards my 100,000 follower goal, stuff like that. And just keeping it in a series-based format, as well as just doing sort of ad hoc day-to-day content as well. TikTok, next one. So the next channel that I'm looking to grow. Again, so what this is spitting out here on ChatGPT is sticking to a niche. Now, I have kind of rebranded my social media channels to Diary of a Small Biz Owner, because that is the kind of direction that I'm wanting to go along with all of my content now across all of my channels, is just documenting and mapping my journey as a small business owner, running the business on a day-to-day, owning the business, the struggles, the mistakes that I've made, things that I'm trying, such as this, and just aiming for that kind of content where I'm literally just mapping what I'm doing and obviously making it as relevant to other small business owners as humanly possible. So that's my niche, and that's what I'm going to be sticking to. So that's what TikTok is advising that I do. And again, consistency and frequency, riding trends, that's what it's saying is the next thing. So again, it's going to be sorted out anyway, because I'm going to be posting consistently every single day for 75 days straight. So that should sort that out. Focusing and riding on trends. So again, this is something that I was focusing on beforehand, before I'd asked this to ChatGPT this morning. Rather than just doing a spray and pray approach with my content, I am very much going to be looking at the data of what is actually working. This doesn't mean I'm going to start doing dancing videos or, I don't know, doing silly cat memes and stuff like that. I'm going to be looking for the videos that are going viral across TikTok and the other channels, the type of content that's going viral across all of the channels, and picking out of that the strategy and the things that are actually working for those specific types of content, and then matching that and mapping that to my own content, not copying it, but obviously putting my own spin on things and digging deeper into what's actually working for other creators, and then bringing that over onto my own content to hopefully get some of the same success that they're seeing as well. So that's what I'm kind of seeing as riding the trends. It's not starting to dance on TikTok and doing all those daft things like that might get one viral video and then it's just a flash in the pan. It's looking for the things that have lasted over time, working for multiple creators in multiple different niches, and then just picking out of those specific bits of content exactly what's working and then doing that for my own content. Again, hooking viewers immediately, maximising watch time. It's all stuff that I already kind of know anyway. Grabbing attention in the first 1 to 2 seconds. So getting people to actively engage, getting people to be interested in the content as early as possible and watching as much of the content as possible. So that's all stuff that I kind of knew about anyway. Instagram, the next channel. So go all in on reels and video content in 2026. So again, going to sound like a broken record, but that's what I'm planning on doing anyway. So I'm planning on posting a video every single day, so a reel every single day to Instagram. Again, very much focusing on this business journey that I'm on, running the business day to day, mistakes, all that kind of stuff. And very much focusing on the diary of a small business owner kind of approach. Reels and video content across all social media channels is what seems to be the big trend, and obviously the big push across all of them. LinkedIn's pushing video content a lot more heavily in 2026. So it's no surprise that Instagram's doing exactly the same. And I think Instagram's been doing that for quite a while anyway. So I'm obviously going to be focusing very much on that. One other thing that I'm also going to be doing a lot more of on Instagram is the carousel type content. So again, just from my sort of research of other creators that are doing really well, it does appear that carousels have kind of made a bit of a resurgence and a bit of a comeback. So making those super shareable, super valuable, but again, tied to the niche that I'm going for with my channels, and just riding that wave of the carousels. So obviously get some new followers for my channel. Instagram strategies, so it's obviously saying about using stories. Stories is something that I've kind of tinkered with before on Instagram, but never really tried that often or understood that much. So I need to do a little bit more research on how stories work and start to go a little bit more in terms of that. It is saying about hashtags and keywords not being as potent as they once were, but a nice hashtag or a niche hashtag can still help on discovery. So just choosing hashtags and putting them in there. But I think, again, with all social media channels, they've all kind of gone down that route of TikTok, and it's more to do with what people are interested in rather than just stuffing keywords and hashtags in your posts. So I'm very much going to be focusing on making sure the content that I'm posting out is obviously relevant, is valuable, is stuff that people want to be watching. And then a good one again on Instagram, something that I've always done on LinkedIn is put time aside to actively engage with people. So people who are commenting on my content, commenting on other people's content, and engaging with the community is just another way to get my face in front of the people that I'm looking to attract. So again, that's stuff that I'm going to be doing anyway. And then last but not least, on the growth strategy, Substack. Now, Substack's something that I'm very, very new to. I literally put my first post on there yesterday, my first note on there this morning. I've got 0 subscribers. In fact, I think I've got 1 subscriber. I'm not sure who it is, but I think I've got 1, 0 followers. But Substack is something that I'm quite excited about. It's something that I've never used myself personally, but I'm just starting to have a look into it now. But it does seem like it's a big, big opportunity for growing an audience and growing an audience quite quickly. So it is something that I'm definitely going to be focusing on a hell of a lot this year. The strategy ChatGPT is giving me here is deliver consistent story-driven newsletters, which is what I'm going to base sort of long-form written pieces of content around, based on the videos that I'm doing, still very much based on the journey and obviously the day-to-day of running the business. And putting my own spin on it in written form. So this is something quite exciting, to be fair, because I've not written long form content like that before, so quite excited to get involved with that. And then it's saying stuff about leveraging Substack's built-in growth features, so using recommendations and notes. So again, I think I've understood the difference between a post and a note. I think the notes is kind of like the Instagram, LinkedIn kind of feed where you just put short form pieces of content, and then you post your longer form pieces of content. And then just obviously engaging with other creators. Social media, it says it in the tin. Social media, obviously the idea is to be social. It's not just to spit stuff out and then never interact on there. So building a community, building conversations, and actively actually speaking to people on the platform as being the number one way to actually grow on that channel. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So across all of those strategies, there's a couple of new bits that I'm going to be trying. A lot of it was stuff that's just validated what I already had going around in my head already, so I'm quite excited about that, and it sounds like what I had in my head was kind of along the right path anyway. It does say a little tidbit down at the bottom of the output here where it says rapid growth will require hustle and adaptation, but by using these platform-specific strategies, you'll dramatically increase your reach. So let's test how good ChatGPT is at giving strategy and how actually good this is potentially going to be for me and my business. The reason why I'm wanting to grow obviously a massive audience across as many touch points as possible and across as many social media channels as possible is my thinking behind it is the bigger my audience, the more chance I've got of actually selling my service, which is just web design, just simple web design package, to the type of people who are potentially going to be obviously my type of audience, which is other small business owners. So I'm just thinking the bigger I can make my pool of people who are following me, the bigger my pool of potential people who are going to come to me one day and say, Dave, we need a website for his business. You were front of mind, you were top of mind because we see your content all the time. Would you be up for building us a website? To which I'm going to say, yes, of course I will be. So that's the heads tails of it. That's what I'm going to be doing as soon as I get back home from this working holiday. Is getting cracked on. Like I say, I'm going to give myself 3 months, so a full 90 days of just trying everything that's on this page here, and we shall see just how good ChatGPT is at getting me towards my 100,000 follower goal across all of my social media channels, and I'm excited to give it a go. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. You can follow along and see how this is going. I'm going to be keeping you updated regularly in terms of how this plan's going, as well as all my other plans and all the other day-to-day running of my business. And I will see you on the next video. Ta-da!